the time. It's happening right now. Like some of us maybe are walking into this room and thinking like, I don't really know anybody here. Like, what if I say something? Or like, what if somebody thinks I'm silly or whatever, right? Like that's signaling, like maybe crowds kind of signal this anxiety or like, what if people don't like me? Like I was nervous before I came. So like my nervous system was like, speaking in front of crowds, like that might be dangerous, right? Like people might not like you and then you'll be alone and then you'll like, you know, die of like aloneness or something, right? Like you just, the spiral goes deep and far and fast. And so that's why we avoid things that make us uncomfortable. But we don't have to if we can say, okay, don't know what the danger is, but I don't need to, because all I really need to do is know what's actually happening in my body, and I can just work with my nervous system to care for and attend to what's happening right now. So what would you do? Just like if you saw a little kid who was scared. A little kid who is just like sitting there like, oh, I'm really, really scared. Like I'm all alone. I don't know where my mom is. Like, would you be like, oh, you're fine? Like you're anxious for no reason? No. Who says that to a 3? Like that's rude, right? Like no, you would be like, oh my gosh, you're gonna be okay. Like you're safe. Like I've got you. Like let's get you help. Like you're not alone, right? Like I'm gonna attend to you, because that's like humanly the right thing to do. Like you're talking about a scared child, but we don't treat ourselves with that level of compassion because we have this like cognitive process that judges our experiences and labels them and tells us a story about them. And that story is usually designed to make things make sense because we just need stuff to make sense. And so it's not inherently wrong or bad that we tell ourselves these stories. It's just human neurobiology. We have this cognition to make things make sense. So we're gonna use it. And when you have no other information or no other reason why, you're gonna make something up. And the easiest thing to do is to assign blame to yourself, because then you have control over it, right? So that's like a whole other presentation. But going back to what's actually happening is your neuroception starts, right? So it takes in all that information that we talked about, sensory information, the affect, the emotional interaction information, that mom's facial expressions, right? The people who you saw and like, are they happy? Are they scary? What do they look like, right? So you're taking in sensory and affective information. Those two channels of information processing are online, ready to go, fully live at birth, even before birth, but we don't have to get into that. Once you are a person, you have this capability because this is what keeps you safe. Now we all think, I don't know, before I started talking, what would you think is the most important of the 3 channels, affect, sensory, or cognitive, as humans? How many would think cognitive? Right? Because that's what makes us human, that's what makes us, we think, we have the knowledge, we're intelligent. Our intelligence is the most helpful and effective thing that we have that makes us successful as humans. That is the opposite of true. Our cognition is actually the least helpful channel of information processing. It has 0 survival value.